Hey everyone, welcome to another transformation video. This is the Transformers Masterpiece MP-52 Starscream version 2.0, and yes, we're going to go from jet, because that's how he's packaged, to robot, and back. We're probably also going to make a pit stop to the Gerwalk, because this is the way things are. So, we'll go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is untab the missiles here from the wings, and just kind of bring those down and forward like that, just get those out of the way. Same thing on this side, do that as well. On top of that, you also want to take care of the landing gear, and that is just simple. You just kind of raise this part up and put that in, close it back up, open these pieces up right here, any little tabs, open those up, fold away the landing gear, close that up, and close these up, and there you go. Now back here, what you'll want to do is let's see. You want to go ahead and start untabbing this stuff right here. We want to untab this from the leg. There's a little, this goes over top of the tab right here. You want to untab that right here. Untab this piece right here and get these all fell away. That, untab those. So, that. Then you want to what you want to do is take these and move these down out of the way. You want to bring the legs down once those are untabbed. You want to bring the legs down like so. Gotta make sure those are, and separate them. Like that. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up and untab this right here. And untab it from the side as well. Like that. Bring the foot down and they'll click into place. Bring the thruster, take that thruster and move it up like that. You want to bring this out. And then up here you just bend the knee essentially. Gonna make a loud clicking noise, but it'll be fine. Bring the knee and stand it out like that. Take this and rotate that up like that. Bring this back down. Tabbing back here and to the side of this panel right here. Tabbing like that. Again, just make sure it's all the way forward. This is also the part, if you want to skip from the over the Gerwalk entirely, this is probably the part where you probably should just skip to the next part where we get to the robot mode stuff, because a lot of this is the same. And then untub that. Bring that open, bring this down, click in this place. If it hasn't already, take the thruster and collapse it upward. Open this up, bring this back down, tab it in. Both of those things, and then bend the knee and bring that forward. So, now. That's pretty much the legs done for Gerwalk mode. Up here, what you want to do is you want to bend this up, or bend the wing up, and take the tail fins. Bend the wing up, take the tail fins, and turn those around. So, bring this around, and then on this little post, it'll collapse. And then bring this all the way around, and then you rotate this like this. So this tab right here is facing up, and this slot will go over that tab, like so. Let's make sure this is all forward enough to actually do so. Now this should be coming untabbed yet, but it will probably happen. Just re-tab it together. So bring that up. Take this, rotate this around right there. Bring it around. Collapse it down right there. Rotate at this hinge as well. Bring it down. So this tab's facing up, then tab it over. And right here, you essentially have the Gerwalk mode if it's not too front heavy. You essentially have the Gerwalk mode. Yeah. It's a bit front heavy, but yeah, you get the idea. They really want you to use the stand for this, but yeah, you can do that. So yeah, Yeah, to get it back to, I guess, reset it for getting to robot mode, you want to then untab these, bring these back, rotate these around, bring this up, and slide that back up. Get that all taken care of, and rotate this back around, bring this down. Now, same thing on this side, bring that up, bring this around, all the way around, rotate that up. Back here, you want to go ahead and slide this up on this post. So it comes back around, rotate the tail fin back around, bring this down, and okay, then you want to take the legs and more or less bring them back down like that, and you can flip these skirts back down, hip skirts back down. You're pretty much ready to go to start going to robot mode at this point. So what you want to do is actually open these panels up right here. Take the tail fin and move it this way, so then you can take this part and go flip this around like that, so it's inward. And then you take this piece right here. You see this bit? You take the tail fin and you push the outer part down right there, so then it can rotate around inward like this. Fold it up into the leg and make sure it lines up. You kind of want it more lining up with these lines inside the thing. Line it up and bring it in, and then we'll tab it this all in. At this point, have that in too, and then take the knee pad here and slide it up. Make sure it's slide it up all the way. Yeah, like that. That's one leg pretty much done. Straighten it out. And same thing on this side. Untab the side panel. Rotate this around. Rotate this piece around so it clicks. This is a very soft click on mine. And again, take this and slide that up or down or whatever. Rotate that around. Rotate it so it lines up with all that stuff, and then just bring it in. Tab this all back in. Make sure it's fully tabbed in everywhere. Like that. Tab that in and slide the knee pad up. Make sure it's all the way slid up. And there you go. That's pretty much the legs done. Right there. Matter of getting everything ready to go. Okay, now comes the trickier bits. Okay, so this probably, in the process of doing this, probably came untabbed, but yeah, you want to untab these things from each other and kind of start moving them back like that. And this untab this stuff right here. You want to untab this stuff and start bringing that up a bit. Untab, and be careful with these bits right here. Start bringing that all up, and then while you're doing so, take this piece and untab it from the back of the cockpit. Bring it back. It's also on a little double hinge down here. You want to take this on the double hinge and bring it down on that. Rotate it, flip it over there, and these slots right here will go with these tabs. Just do that and just keep that out of the way for now. You want to go ahead and this part can be a little tricky as well. Okay. Now the head here is actually not on the way up. But yeah, you want to take the arms and bring them out. They're on this little thing right here. The hinges out. There's a hinge right here. You want to hinge those out. Hinge the arms out, and try to see if I can get better lighting on this. You want to hinge the arms out, and again, watch the tips of the wings here. Then you can go ahead and you want to kind of then flatten the wings back down for a second so you can then bring the arms down on another hinge, like that. Then you can move the wings back up. Again, same on this side. Move the wing back up, bring the arm down, and then you can move the wing back up, like so. Now back here, you want to take the head and move it up and out of the way. It's on like there's a little hinge right here. You can move it up and out of the way like that. So then you can get to these pieces. These pieces right here, you want to go ahead and bring these out like that. There's a little flap in here too. A little flap in here too. You can go ahead and bring this down. Make sure this body is sitting straight when you do this. Like that. Do that. Same thing on this side. Bring that out. Bring it down. Make sure you're not, again, make sure you're not engaging the ab crunch when you do that part. Otherwise, you're making it more difficult for yourself. Do that. And then you can go ahead and take the head and, well, recompress the ears and bring it back down. So it's nice and snug up against, I guess, the back of the cockpit again. Like so. Also get the arms and missiles and stuff out of the way. Then you want to take this piece, and I'll probably unclip already, but unclip that and just go ahead and rotate that around. And this piece right here, the fake cockpit, you actually can go ahead and push this forward a little bit. It's on a little slider. You want to push it forward just you know, it's on a little slider. You just push it forward just a little bit. Just a bit. Like that. You want to take the cockpit here, and, well, this is where you want to start rotating it backwards. Want to rotate it backwards a bit. And this is where things get a little tricky, because you also got to fit the cockpit through the wings like that. On the cockpit, you want to rotate it to the right, I believe. Yeah, you want to rotate this tip right here. You want to rotate to the right, and it can be a little stiff the first few times. We'll rotate to the right, and this is probably where the best time to, you know, start using the ab crunch bit. We'll rotate to the right, so then you can go ahead and start separating this piece right here. Want to separate that, take the seat, fold it in, and fold this up like this, like that. Then you can take these pieces right here, fold those in, fold this bit. You want to fold this up and up against the top of the cockpit, and then this whole thing will slide down like that. Make sure it's all nice and straight, like that. And then this, it's hard to see, but there's a hinge here. There's multiple hinges up in here where the head's attached, and you want to slide this up in such a way that the head peeks through up here. Sometimes get a little caught, annoyingly. But yeah, you want to peek, move that up through there, like that. Bring this down, and this part right here, this, you know, this will come up, and this little tab right here will now go into this little slot right here, holding that all together. Like so. Now the wings here, what you want to do, I want to go ahead and start folding them up like this. And when you're doing so, take this, the wing here, there's another hinge here. You want to take the wing and fold it here, and then fold it out this way. Like that. It looks like this. Go ahead and take this piece and fold that up. When you start folding this all the rest of the way, take this piece as well and take this and make sure it's folded around like that. And then this part right here can tab into this slot right here. This can fold up. You can bring this down, and there's a slot here which this tab will go in. This red tab right here will go into a slot on the wing, like that. Make sure it's all nice and compressed. We'll do that. Same thing on this side. Bring this and fold this down. Up, and again, watch this. Fold that up, fold this around, bring this around. Tab this in right here. Let's fold this up, bring this in, bring that in, slot that in, tab that in. Then you can go ahead and bring this down, right there, like that. The next part right here is what you want to do is take this underside of the wing, open up and open that part up, bring this down, bring the flaps down like this. You can take this part, bring it down, rotate the tail fin around 180, bring it down, rotate it inward like that. It'll rest in there. Then bring this flap up. There's a tab here which will go in that slot right there, holding all in together, like so. Same thing on this side. Untab this, tab that, rotate the flaps in, bring this down, rotate the tail fin around 180, rotate it inward, make sure it's all in, then bring this up and tab that into that larger slot. So, and also what you're doing is this, make sure these posts are fully extended so they look like this, because otherwise things will not quite line up properly. Just an FYI. Now, go ahead and take the arms here and rotate them back into place. Move them back into place. So, this part's a little tricky, I think. What you need to do is rotate this around so that this thing right here kind of tabs over. See this thing right here tabs over top of the things right here. That's more or less fills out the arm. So, yeah, so you gotta bring this around and gotta rotate this piece around. And while you're bringing it, you have to more or less kind of bring it up multiple places so it all hooks in. Yeah. So, then what you do up here, is you bring this back. There's a little slot here where this tab will go in. You bring this out and the tab will go in that slot. And then back here, you want to go ahead and you put your finger in there and make sure not to touch the sidewalls too much. Put your finger in there so this comes down. And there's a little slot here, this tab will go over. And you just kind of make sure to put that in and make sure this is all straight like that. And you see how the vents sit differently? Yeah. So you don't want to do the same thing on this side. Tab that in. Be a little stubborn sometimes. Tab that in. Back here again. Make sure that slots over. So, make sure this is sitting straight like that. We're almost there. We're almost to the home stretch here. Now from here, what you want to do is go ahead and open up the forearm panels. Bring out the hands. Rotate them out. Close up the panel. Rotate the fist around. And then take this piece right here. You want to open that up right here. Open this up. Rotate this around right here, 180. Clicks into place. And close that back up. And now you got a null ray. Same thing on this side. Open up this panel. Rotate the fist out. Rotate the fist out. Close that up. Rotate the fist around. Open up this piece right here. Rotate this 180. And close this back up. And there you go. There's a Starscream in the robot mode. Now getting back to jet mode. Okay, so go ahead and take this, open that up, rotate this back around, close that up. Take this, open that up, rotate this back around, close it up. Open up the panels, rotate the fist 180, close it, put it up in the thing, close that up. Again, same thing. Open up the panel, rotate the fist 180, close that up, close that up. Again, right here, we want to go ahead and bring the arms forward on these the butterfly hinges. Untab these from bend the elbow, untab this, and then you can start rotating that around like that. Just get it out of the way. And the elbow, untab that, rotate that around, and just get out of the way. Rotate that, yeah, just get those all situated and out of the way right there. You go ahead and take these the vent pieces, just go ahead and untab them and bring them forward and collapse that inward. Yeah, collapse the inner center piece inward like that. Same thing on this side. Untab that, bring it forward, collapse it inward like that. Then we come to the back here. Back here you can go ahead and open this up, bring this out, rotate this 180 and just bring it up right here. This up, get this out, rotate this 180, bring it up, get it out of the way. Now take the flaps, move them out like that, and then take this and tab that in, and then tab it in here. Same thing. Flaps up, tab this in, tab this in. There you go, that's one part done. We'll go ahead and take this, untab this from the back, rotate this outward, and then untab it from here. Bring this, kind of bring this piece right here, because it needs to move more in the center. Then take the wing and bring it out and straighten it out like that, and this can be like that. Then straighten out the whole thing, like so. Untab, back, straighten this out, untab this part. Bring this part around, inward, take the wing and straighten it out. Straighten out the tail fins piece, then straighten out the whole assembly. So. And you can take this piece right here and move that up a bit, because we're going to start dealing with this stuff. So back down here, you want to go ahead and untab this piece. Down here, you want to untab this piece right here. Get that out, gets out of the way. And you want to start feeding all this back through. So that means also including this stuff needs to feed through, and this want to go ahead and pinch the sides of the head so it can feed through a little easier. With all that stuff, take this and extend this on the dark gray piece. You want to extend that. Extend that. Take the nose cone and flip it forward and tap it back in. Tap it back in. Go ahead and rotate this like this. Make sure it only goes one way, so make sure to rotate it the correct direction. Take these pieces and flip them out and bring this whole thing back. Extend this out. Yeah, these parts can get a little caught sometimes, I've noticed. Yeah, make sure it's like this. Take the seat, unfold it, bring it down. Yeah, take that and tab this all back together like that. Up here, rotate this back around 180. Continue feeding this all through. Get the nose cone past the wings. And bring this all through. Make sure to collapse those head pieces. Bring this all through, bring this forward, and at this point also you are going to wind up sliding this fake cockpit kind of back into the chest a bit. Up here, what you want to do is take the head once again and bring it forward on this hinge so you can then take these pieces again. Make sure the torso straightened out. Take these flaps, collapse this flap in, and then collapse this in. Take this flap, see that? Move it around that tab, collapse it in, close this up. Then you can bring the head back down on its multiple hinges. Make sure it's sitting snug against the back of the cockpit. Now you want to take the wings and bring them down so you can then bring this up, the arm piece up like that. Bring this down, bring the arm piece up. So, and then you can bring this back up and then collapse the arm all the way up into here. Up into there. Oop. Rotate this around so that this piece, arm then just feeds into back here. And there's this slot right here will kind of go over this little, you see this gray piece right here? It doesn't tab in, but it kind of guides it where it's supposed to be. More or less. And make sure that's sitting where it's supposed to be. And this side, rotate that around 180. Bring this in and just kind of bring that all in. Make sure the arms are sitting where, again, where they're supposed to be. That can be a little tricky. Bring the wing pieces down a little bit. Take this piece, untab it, unfold it, bring it forward. And also on this double hinge, it's on the double hinge down here. Make sure that's also forward. So then this can tab into the back of the cockpit. Make sure the arms are sitting where they're supposed to be. Again. The wings come down. You want to make sure these pieces right here also come forward and tab together. And the wings are going to come down. They're going to tab into the centerpiece and into the arms. And it's a little tricky and annoying to deal with, to say the least. But you can do it. It's doable. It's totally doable. And I sometimes prefer to kind of bring the legs down a little bit, just to get them out a little out of the way. But you can bring these pieces down. Tab in. Again, into the side of this centerpiece and into the arms. This can be a little tricky to line up. Right. Make sure these are coming together. Get it all together. Make sure that this is tabbed in properly. Make sure, yep. There's a good chance when you're doing the rest of the legs and stuff that this stuff's gonna come undone again, but not a huge deal. Once you got it mostly lined up for in the first place, it's not gonna be a problem. Come down here, bring this little, there's little slots down here, which this will line up with. More or less, just to cover up the fake cockpit. Now take the knee pads, slide those down. Open this, untab this side panel, bring that out, rotate this forward, around, extend, rotate that around, collapse this all together, like that. Bring it up, rotate this around like this, click into place. Bring the knee here, you want to, well, collapse it back up, which can be a little scary, but it's, again, it's doable, just kind of scary because it makes lots of loud clicking noises. There we go, yeah, bring that up and then collapse this up against that. And then go ahead and take the foot and untab that from the rest, bring it up against that, and then this can come in and once again tab into that and tab into the foot and extend the thruster outward and have this all lined up and start bringing that up. I see what I mean with it undid the wings a bit. Now on the other leg, tab the side panel, rotate this out, rotate this around, collapse that, bring that up, rotate this around, clicks in place, take the collapse the upper leg into the lower leg. Again, can be a little tricky. Collapse that up, like that. Collapse this against that. Take the foot, unclip that, bring it up. Make sure it's all the way up. Then you take this and bring this in, tab this in, tab it in here, then line it up. You can start bringing it up here. Start tabbing the legs together. And extend the thruster. Tab the legs together. Bring this all up. And this right here, there's tabs right here will go in the slots next to the thrusters. And give it all a good squeeze. I've noticed that just give it all a good squeeze. It starts just kind of tabbing itself together once you do that. These things, they tab in like this. There's a little very slight small tabs. They kind of tab in a little like on the underside, and you just tab into the tail fins right there. That, make sure it's all lined up. Then you go ahead and take the guns here, bring them around, rotate them such this tab right here will go up into this slot right there. Like that. Same thing. Rotate this around. So it doesn't get caught on itself. Rotate that around. Bring it up into the slot right here. Tab it in. Make sure it's all straightened out. Make sure this is all straightened out. There's tabs on the sides of these tips right here. Just supposed to go into the little vents here, but they don't always cooperate on mine, particularly on this right side. And then of course, well, you can either put it on the stand or extend the landing gear. Just get this all done so I can set it down. That landing gear too. There you go. That's Starscream back in his jet mode. Back in his jet mode. Yeah, a bit of a struggle in that one spot, but it's doable. You just got to know what you're doing and what we're pushing past. But yeah, there you go. That's transformation. I hope that was somewhat helpful. If not, I'm sorry, but this is somewhat more difficult for me too, just because of just filming and everything.